I want to illustrate the condition of the artist. And I think that it'll be illuminating both for the artist and for the outside world. I have many findings that can't be put in one video. And so the big string that will tie all of these videos together is the theme of the artist's isolation. Sufjan John Stevens said, "The gift is the weight." And so as I illustrate the gift, I also want to give credence and import to the weight. So the first aspect of the artist's isolation that I want to talk about is something that I call third-dimensional compassion. The artist as a person not only can feel the human condition of pain, because we know that what really connects one person to another, transcendent of circumstance, is pain. So the artist is definitely a human, just like the rest of the population, but I think that the difference is that they don't only feel pain, but it's somewhat sensory. It's intuitive. They don't see it in one facet or one dimension. It's multi-dimensional. And at times, it's not even intellectual. It's just something that you deeply, profoundly sense is misplaced or wrong. Add to this, the other thing that I want to talk about as far as the isolation is the constant narrative drive that the artist has. It's almost as if they can hear a narrative that is almost on film. And it doesn't even need to be something that's dictated. It could be something as faint and as slight as a statement or an expression, an idiom of culture, or a look, a gesture, a movement. And the artist is sent into this world of trying to find meaning. It's a very caustic kind of world. And I think that, like any muscle, the artist is continually, this is true especially with NFs, constantly seeking truth and values. Internally, they have to be completely true and honest with themselves to really be and feel human. And at the same time, constantly searching for truth externally in the world. And I think that the issue with that, as any strength can become a weakness, is that it becomes so developed that without conscience, without desire, the artist, one can feel that things are fake, that things are superficial, unreal, misplaced, surreal. And the isolation becomes realizing that there's this constant narrative drive that's dictating that things are incorrect and wrong, and within yourself this battalion that's screaming, and realizing that the rest of humanity also feels this kind of similarity of pain, but somehow they can ignore the voice, and that can drive you to the point of insanity, because you don't realize how it is that something that can be so profound and moving that you feel forced, it's absolutely incumbent that you bring it to ink, to film, to photograph, to paint. And how the rest of the general population can ignore this profound sensation of something being wrong. That's the isolation. It's kind of, I guess you can call it the intuitive schizophrenic, hearing through intuition voices that no one else hears. And then in time, the creation comes to be adored. But who among the admirers of your work really understood the process, the destruction that prompted the creation? I know that's a paradox of an expression, but that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about, is that the artist can sense that there's paradox. And there's no way to further illustrate the how surreal it is. How absolutely surreal it is, because it already is at this extreme point of absurdity. Take into account that there is this kind of release and freedom that you feel once you've expressed it. Once I write the poem and I've put the right words on it, once I've painted something and I use the right color. But an expression that I use is, even in the best of light, some photographs cannot be taken. Not everything that you sense can be interpreted into language or color. And that feeling of, when I have a poem, the idea of a poem like written upon the surface of my core, and I feel the need to express it, and I cannot find the fitting words, I cannot express the experience of defeat. And I know that this is the same sensation because you want to share it. You want to share this experience so that it's understood, and sometimes you have to hold the reality within yourself and just allow the feeling to be enough, and that's very difficult. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the isolation and the condition of the artist, part 1. It may seem a little poignant right now, but it'll come through eventually.